Welcome to Truth and Company Boxing Podcast. I'm your host, John the Truth Dioria, and tonight we have another segment of 20 random questions. And tonight's guest is professional boxer Derick Miller Jr. How you doing tonight, Derick?
What's happening, man? Pretty good.
I know you're in camp right now, right?
Yeah, yep. Today's pretty much, pretty much my last day. It's time to start winding down. Next week I'll do some light things.
Okay, so you all done with the sparring?
Yeah, I'm done sparring.
Okay, just so people know, you actually got a fight next week, October 21st, on
Saturday.
Yeah, on Saturday against Donardo Minor at Motor City, Detroit, Minnesota, right? Or Detroit, Michigan, I'm sorry.
Yep, Detroit, Michigan, yep.
So now do you know where you're on it, on the card at all?
Past 5 fights I've been main event. So I believe I'll be main event again.
Okay, that's good to know. So now you actually, for people that don't know, you're actually undefeated right now. You're 13-0. So you're kind of working your way up the rankings right now, and so pretty soon you're gonna have to start taking on some guys that are as tough as you.
Ain't nobody as tough as me. Hey, only person that can beat me is me.
Well, that's a good attitude to have, man, especially in the cruiserweight division, because there's a lot of guys in there, man, that want to be on the top.
Yeah, I want to be the top. You know what I mean? I just need to get that chance, get that shot. Somebody give me that chance. I wish Usyk wouldn't have moved up to heavyweight. He had all the belts. I wanted to just get him out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what do you think about now? I know obviously you follow the cruiserweights, you follow your division. So now, have you seen the IBF champion? Have you seen who he is now from Australia?
No, I haven't really seen him much.
I mean, he's a scary looking dude, man. He's a wrecking ball. His name is Jai Apataya.
Apataya, yeah, I seen that. But I'm not really worried about nobody, man. I know how to box. That's what I do, man. I'm a professional. Like, I really feel professional at my craft. I'm kind of like a doctor with the tools, you know what I mean? You just got to trust it. Trust the process.
So now, what type of amateur career did you have?
I had a pretty good amateur career.
Okay.
51-10.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to jump right into these questions before I get too deep into your career and stuff. We'll go into that in the questions. But once again, Derick's fighting October 21st, Motor City, Detroit. If you guys can get out there, check him out, support him. There's a lot of fighters on the card as well. And check his social media page in case there's a link so you guys can check out any of these fights as well. All right, we're going to get to these random 20 questions. Question 1, tell me about your background and your upbringing a little bit. Not the boxing, just kind of like your upbringing and where you're from, things like that, how you came up.
Well, I'm from Monroe, Michigan. Really good small town, all about sports type of city. I played football, basketball, baseball, always had leaders around me, you know what I mean? And a lot of athletes come out of my city. Great parents, I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've seen it, being middle class, and I've seen it, being, hungry out here.
Okay. Now, question 2. So how did you get involved in the sport of boxing?
Really street boxing with my boys, We used to box in the street on the East End, and my first time putting on the gloves, everybody like, oh, snaps, I took a punch from somebody that, one of the biggest hitters around here. And I ate it, you know what I mean? And I kept fighting, beating up everybody I was going with. And one of my best homeboys, his uncle, was actually the coach at our community center. So, they took me down there, and that's pretty much how I got started. Keith Vining, he used to fight for the Kronk back in the day.
Okay. Question 3, what boxers inspired you in your career?
I would have to say my favorite boxer, Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, because he was just a beast, and there's really nobody to really like him, man. He was athletic, strong, and that's kind of how I see myself.
Okay. Question 4, why should boxing fans come out and watch you fight?
Well, tickets are cheap now compared to what they're going to be when I become world champ. You got to get the history. Sometimes you got to look at boxers and, you got to know in the beginning whether they're going to be something or not. And that's why people show up, My city show up. They support me very well, buy my little sports cars I got, they buy the D-Mills boxing gear. I get over 100 to 200 people in the building every time at Motor City,
Okay. Question 5, what's the craziest or the funniest story that ever happened between you and a boxing fan?
The craziest story that ever happened between me and a boxing fan?
Yeah.
So I would say, I don't know. I was in the ring one time, and these people had had some VIP tickets. Friends of mine. I ain't gonna put no names out there. And the lady, this is her first boxing match. She's all excited, boxing. Get him, kill him, da da da. And she's just got this loud, piercing voice, and the ref kind of stopped the moment and was like, shut up, lady, I'm looking like, dang, why you gotta do it like that? She cheering for me.
Right in the middle of the fight, the ref just told her to shut up.
Yeah, I was like, well, come on.
All right, question 6. If you were stranded on a desert island and you can only have 3 items, what 3 items would you choose?
3 items? Well, I was stranded on a desert island. Something I could communicate with. I don't know, a phone or, some type of weapon for sure. I don't know what type of animals is out there. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. Hey, give me a camera. Put a camera in my hand so I can document the situation.
Okay. All right, question 7. If you had to spend 30 days in a jail cell, what comedian would you choose to be your cellmate?
What comedian? Probably either Chris Rock. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac.
Okay. Question 8. If they invented a new sport called tag team boxing, what current boxer would you choose as your tag team partner?
What current boxer? Crawford. Me and Crawford we'd clear the ring, man. I'm a bigger guy, I can do everything he do. I'm a bigger guy, so if they got size things, we'll balance each other out.
All right. Question 9. If it was possible, which one would you rather know? How you were going to die or on what day you were going to die?
You said which one would I rather know?
Yeah. Would you rather know how you were going to die someday or would you rather know the day you were going to die?
Probably the day. Yeah, definitely the day.
Okay. Question 10. If you didn't become a boxer, what profession do you think you'd be in right now?
Football. Man, I still got dreams of being a football player, professional. Hey, because they got insurance and it's not such a brutal game, union, all that stuff, man.
So were you actually pretty good at football?
Yeah, man, I could have been a Division I player. I don't miss tackles, I like to hit.
Okay. Question 11. If you could go back in time to tell your younger self some advice, what age would you go back to and what would you tell yourself?
I would probably go back to I'd probably go back to about 14, about 13, 14. And it would probably be, make sure I got them grades right, keep, take things like that more important. You know what I mean? I was always a smart person, but I didn't apply myself. I did so many sports, how athletes are.
Okay. If question 12, who's your favorite opponent so far that you fought?
My favorite opponent that I have fought. Probably a guy named Dennis Vance. He was a character.
Okay. Question 13. Can you tell me an interesting story so far out of your boxing career?
An interesting story out of my career. Well, I've been managing and promoting myself. I'm not signed to anybody. An interesting story was when I threw my own show at our community center, a boxing event. I was kind of like an apprentice under my coach. She's done a lot of amateur shows, and promoter Carlos. We did a show at our community center. It was a pro-am show, and I worked really hard at putting that together, from the napkins to thinking about getting the fighters together to I actually fought on the show. And it was crazy. Everybody's kind of like, oh, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You got to fight still, They told me to go home, go rest a little bit. I'm like, all right. And I had created all the tickets. I'm pretty good at computers. I created all the tickets online. I did it through a website, and, everybody signed up online. And I'm at home relaxing, and, I got my mom and them working the door. They're like, man, how you got to do this over here? How you got to do this and that? Do this and that. We trying to get people in. I had to show up to the fight, get everybody in the door, go rest. And I still won that fight, man. I fought a guy that had probably about 30 fights, too. I had my seventh fight.
Wow, you did it all that night. You had all the hats on.
Man, it's the story of my life, man. So I walk around with different hats all day.
All right, question 14. If you could be any animal for one day, what animal would you choose to be?
Probably the bald eagle.
Okay. All right, question 15. If you could have a boxing match with any fighter in history, alive or dead, who'd your ultimate fight be against?
Ever in history, Mike Tyson.
Okay. Question 16. What's the one thing that you hate the most in training?
One thing I hate the most in training. I would probably say sprints, but hey, it's got to be done.
Question 17. If you wrote a book on your life in boxing, what would the title be?
If I wrote a book of my life in boxing, the title would be Bridging the Gaps.
Okay. Question 18. Do you have any boxing superstitions?
Boxing superstitions? Like if I do something different before the fight type thing?
Yeah. Like hand wraps, you got to wrap your hand a certain way or a certain hand first, or put on certain shoes, certain trunks. You got to eat a certain meal before the fight. You got to do, lay out things.
You see this? This grows out till close to the fight. Then I call my man Frank Nitty for the haircut. So that get that haircut, see? I'm ready. I get that fight cut. Got to get that fight cut.
Okay. Question 19. Do you have any hobbies outside the sport of boxing?
Yeah, I still mess around. I mess with cameras and stuff, picture taking, and I coach kids sports. I coach boxing, cameras. I'm a carpenter, so I do, little projects at home. Hobbies, that's my story of my life, man. I stick with everything. I used to be a rapper back in the day.
Oh, yeah. What was your rapper name?
D-Mills.
Okay. All right. Question 20. This is your last question. If you could have a conversation with one person from history, who would you want to sit down and talk to?
Martin Luther King.
Okay. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you taking time during your camp to come on here and do the random 20 questions and have fun with them. I want to wish you good luck on October 21st, man. And hopefully you get the win and you get out of the ring safe. And if you got anything to say to your sponsors or your fans, go ahead.
I just shout out to Monroe, man, for all y'all putting on. Shout out to all my sponsors, and that's wrapping it up, man.
All right, and hold on. And with that, the truth has spoken.